Okay. So when you got out, that's when you found out that that Barry Seal was an informant?
No, I was eating breakfast, and I saw Ronald Reagan's blue eyes on the television right across the table. It says, "We have absolute proof that the communist Sandinista government is in the cocaine running business." And I saw Barry's plane there, they call the Fat Lady, on the runway bed. I said, "Oh, he's done it." So it wasn't long after that, I got a call from Barry and said, "Hey, Roger, I'm coming out tonight. I'll meet you at this French restaurant there in town, 9 o'clock. I said, "I'll see you there."
Okay, but if you knew that he was somehow exposed at this point, why would you meet with him?
Well, I guess I almost had to, or just grab my suitcase and run.
Okay.
And I had all this I didn't know what he had done and what he had said.
All right.
I really liked Barry. He was a friend of mine.
Okay. And I guess one of the meetings you actually told him, they're going to kill you, man. You know?
Yeah,
you
that was a
can't
long
deny it.
time. Let me tell what happened in the meeting with Barry. I showed up at that restaurant, and it was a nice place with the linen tablecloths, and there was people, maybe 20 of them in there, leather skirts and leather jackets, and people in their 30s, 40s. And Barry was sitting at the back, leaned back. I went up and I said, "Barry, are you wired?" And he said, "No, I'm not wired." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to say anything. You just tell me what's going on." And he sat there and just started talking and just tells about what happened and how he had the 2 life sentences. And he said, "I just couldn't do it." And he put his hands up over his eyes, and the tears ran between his fingers. He said, "I just couldn't do it, Roger. I've told him everything. I went before Congress and testified. But I wouldn't do it except the condition that you're under my umbrella. You're completely under my umbrella. You can take your money, your family. They'll give you a new place in any country you want to live. You can have your money, but you've got to testify with me in a grand jury." And I said, "Are they all DEA?" And he said, "Every one of them." I said, "Well, bring your head honcho over." So he brought this Jake Jacobson over, and we drank some Chivas Regal and got a little pie-eyed. And he said, "You can come tomorrow and testify before a grand jury. You can come first class, or I'll take you down in chains. And if I take you in chains, the only place you're going to ever see your family again is in a federal prison visiting room. I guarantee you that."
Right. And by that time, Barry was actually, telling on you to the DEA as well,
Yes,
right?
he told everything.
Told everything.
In Congress. He went before Congress and testified a couple of days. So that was just awful.
So now you have to either testify or, deal with the repercussions of what Barry had done and so forth. And what you had done as well, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to get life sentence or testify.
Yeah.
So I went to Miami the next day with Mari, and I went to see one of the better lawyers down there. And he listened to my story, and I said, "I've got to say something, man. I don't know. I've never been in such a situation as this." So and he said, "I don't talk to snitches." I said, "Well, I'm not a snitch, man." He said, "Well, that's what you're talking about." He said, "You can't be, it's like being pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. You either are or you're not." And he told me, like, the truth of it, he said, "If you tell them anything and you don't tell them everything, you will get a life sentence. They will use it against you, everything you've said." He said, "There's only one way to do it. Fight it in court or be a snitch." Well, I'm not a snitch. Well, so I went to see another lawyer and see if he could do it. And he was much nicer, but he said about the same thing. So I went that night to the Festival restaurant there in Coral Gables, and maybe Barry knew I'd be there. And he came in with Debbie, and she looked nice, and it was on my birthday, 1985, maybe 86, and January 26th. So we had dessert together, and I just said, "Barry, they're going to kill you, friend. They're going to kill you." "No, Roger." So I hugged his neck. I said, "Barry, they're going to kill you." So I took Mari and the children, and I fled to Brazil on a sailboat. And it was just a few months later, they killed him.
Right, because the cartel basically put a price on his head.
Exactly.
It was either $500,000 if he was killed or $1 million if he was captured alive.
I've heard that.
Right.
But
I guess they wanted to torture him and get as much out of him. That's why there was
could.
a bigger price tag for the, capturing him alive. And then in 1986, he was actually murdered.
Yes, and I'll tell you how who did it. On my first load, I landed at a banana plantation and put the 300 kilos on there. It might have been the first load with Jorge. Anyway, there's a bad-looking man got in the airplane with me. And on the back in the back seat. There wasn't no seats, but he had a MAC-10 gun, a machine gun pistol. And he was to make sure that I went to Louisiana. And his name was Ronaldo. Well, when we took off in the banana plantation, it was a muddy strip, clay mud, and it filled the wheel wells up. They were really big wheel wells. It just filled it up with the clay, and the wheels wouldn't come up, and it was just stuck. Well, I'm going 100 miles an hour slower than I should go, so I can't make it. So I told the guy, I said, listen, we have got to land in Belize and get this thing cleaned out. We won't make it. And he put that gun to my head. No, Louisiana. I'll kill you. I said, well, you're going to die too, fool. So anyway, I landed, and I remember what we had for lunch. And the man there, Mr. Carter, sent a boy out and washed the plane, cleaned it out, and we was on our way. And so that's the man that, and so Barry met that person. And that's the one that went there with two other people and killed him in the parking lot of the halfway house that he was in.
Right, a guy named Ronaldo?
Ronaldo, yes, he's still doing life. One of them died.
Okay, and there was a rumor that I guess Oliver North, who got wrapped up in the whole Iran-Contra thing, that he was possibly aware of the hit?
I doubt it.
No?
Nah,
That's just a rumor.
I guess, it's straight out. Ochoa and Escobar sent Ronaldo up there to kill him. And I think some of the other stuff just gets blown out of shape over the years.